Hi everyone, I'm here today with Iain from Pizza Hut, Chief Development Officer. Iain, great to have you here talking franchising, talking leadership, and everything else in between.
Thank
Uh,
you.
you've recently joined Pizza Hut. Tell me a little bit about your journey.
So I've now been with Pizza Hut for 4 months, and in the role of Chief Development Officer. So I'm responsible for all of our franchising, design, construction, and the future growth of the business, which is really, really exciting.
I bet there's a bit going on in there. And you did tell me before that Pizza Hut actually was your first job.
So back when I was 14 or 15, my very first job was at Pizza Hut in Castle Hill in Sydney. And all this time later, it's like a full circle journey for me. So it's still owned by the same franchisee, still in the same location. So all these years later, it's nice to come back and see the results.
That's awesome. I'm sure that's not a common story
No,
that people can see their first job in action.
yeah.
Love it. Let's talk about leadership in franchising. We know that franchising is developing at a really huge rate
Mhm.
and so much change going on and with digital transformation and so many other things going on. What do you think are the most important skills needed for in the franchising world moving forward?
So I think the first is probably vision of a direction of where your brand is going and what you're aiming to be. I think successful franchise brands have a really clear plan of what they're trying to achieve in their market, connecting with their customers, but also how they help and service their franchise partners as well. So for me, I think vision and having a clear understanding of your direction is probably foundational. And that really goes hand in hand then with I guess the franchise partnership overall, and the integrity of that partnership. Good franchising, from my perspective, is all about understanding the relationship between the franchise partner and the franchisor. Um, the roles and responsibilities of each of them, and understanding that the franchisor is there to support franchisees that in many cases have put their livelihoods on the line, mortgaged their houses potentially, invested everything, including their family and support networks, in the success of a business. And so part of our role as a franchisor is to make sure that we're there to support them through every step of that journey, and be the experts that we can be, and that shoulder to support them as well.
So important. You've brought up so many really important points. I look, you've had an amazing career and worked in so many incredible organizations. Who are leaders in your career who have really inspired you and shaped who you are today?
Um, Great question. I have been fortunate to have some amazing leaders and CEOs head up the franchising businesses that I've worked with. So, to give you a highlight of my career, prior to Pizza Hut, I've worked with Anytime Fitness, both in Australia and globally, and Mad Mex in Australia. And each leader, each CEO of that business has, I think, taught me different skills and different leadership attributes that have contributed to, I guess, my philosophy on franchising, but also how I have navigated the world of franchising that is highly regulated, let's face it, and can be challenging at the best of times. But I think um, the three CEOs that I particularly worked closely with, Chuck Runyon at Anytime Fitness out of the US, Clovis Young at Mad Mex, and then Phil Reed here at Pizza Hut. And I think each has taught me different life skills at each stage of that journey for my career as well.
I love it. Really incredible. And they're all people who are so recognized and admired in the sector, I think, yeah, individually. So, yeah, amazing opportunity for you. Um, so if we're talking about franchisees and what they need to be successful,
Mm.
that franchise or franchisee relationship is clearly so important in everything. What do you see as the skills that franchisees need to make a success of franchising? Because I think franchising is an amazing and unique business model. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, well, what do you see as those skills?
I think remembering in the first instance that as a franchisee, you are the business owner. And so um, leading your own business uh, and being an entrepreneur yourself, having business now, but also being able to lead and inspire your team to fulfill the vision of the franchisor or the franchise brand, I should say, um, I think is key in franchisees getting the best out of their teams. Because ultimately, while a support office is there to provide operational experience, to provide marketing services or supply chain. Ultimately, it comes down to the individual franchisee to lead their business and to deliver a franchise brand at a local scale. So, I think in the first instance, for me, successful franchisees lead their teams well and have a really developed leadership palette. I think that then sits hand in hand with the idea of if you look after your team, they'll look after your customers. And providing exceptional quality customer service to our customers, and ultimately as franchisors, that's what we always hope our franchise partners will provide to our customers, because they're mutual customers. Obsessing over customer service and making sure it's really consistent, and that we're providing that across a country or across a network, is really what provides the leadership skills or the important skills that a franchisee might require.
Yeah, I think that's such an important point because I mean that's ultimately what franchising is, isn't it? It's a system, and people are
Mm,
buying into this wonderful system that's tried and tested and has
that's
so
it.
much value behind it. So thank you so much for sharing those. Have you got a last tip or comment you want to share with the audience?
Lastly, I'll say for franchisees, franchising is hard work. And whatever business you go into, it's hard work. And so, if you are considering being a franchise partner or you're a franchise support office team member, reminding that what our franchisees and their teams do on the front line every day representing our brand is tough. And our role is to give them and help impart skills onto them to make it as easy as possible and make them feel like they're not in business alone.
I love it. I think that summarizes franchising. Thank you, Ian, so much. I think a lot of nuggets there that people will find really, really useful. Excited to watch your journey as it progresses.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.